Absolutely. Thanks, Nat. Well, racism has reared its ugly head among footy fans again this week. Adelaide forward Eddie Betts has revealed the racial taunts levelled at him during last weekend's AFL match against crosstown rivals Port have not only affected him but his entire family. The Crows champion was the target of vile racial abuse for the second straight year. This time it came from a Power supporter on social media. Betts said the whole incident has left a sad mark on the game, going beyond the football stadium and hurting his loved ones.
It's racism and we want to stomp it out of the game, and when enough is enough. And my wife, Anna, she was very upset with it this week, just the hatred of it. It was a great match, it's fierce, it was finals like footy, and just stuff like this just wrecks it. It affects me, but it affects people around me more. My wife, Anna, she was very upset with it.
Earlier I spoke with Marngrook's Shelley Ware and asked her whether the AFL is doing enough to stamp out racism in the game.
I do think they are. This isn't just an AFL problem, this is a problem that we have across society. So for us just to go ask, are the AFL doing anything about it? Are they doing enough? I think they are. We had the racial vilification law come into place 22 years ago when a group of men went to the AFL and said, the MCG is our workplace essentially, and we shouldn't have to put up with racism at the workplace, and including our own Gilbert McAdam here, he was part of that. So that was a really important time, and that made a lot of change. And to hear Gil McLachlan actually come out this week and his strong stance with the AFL supporting the boys was really good. And he even talked about, for the first time, the AFL implementing education programs. So they're looking forward to other things that they can actually do. And we've got Tanya Hosh, who's making changes with policy. So really looking forward to what she's going to be doing at the AFL. And of course we had, Sean Burgoyne and Neville Jetta and the boys all band together with their open letter from the Indigenous Advisory Board. So look, that was brilliant to see. And everybody's come together in the AFL and they've said, enough is enough, and people are standing together. So every time there's something that happens, we move forward, and I think once again we'll learn and we'll do that, move forward together.
Do you think incidents of vilification like this one will make it harder for the AFL to attract and to hold on to those young Indigenous players?
There's always that element of fear, but if we let that rule our life, then we're never going to achieve anything. And it's time for Aboriginal people just to stand up and know that there are support systems in place within the AFL that will look after you when you're there, and if anything like this happens. And we're seeing less and less of it, and the reason we're hearing more about it is because people are mortified when it's actually happening. People are recording things and they're putting it out there, and we're having tougher penalties within clubs with their members. And I think it would be a shame if they didn't come, and I hope that that's not actually the case, because the AFL is really stepping up here to make sure they're well supported.
And I guess finally, do you, back to footy now, do you have a match of the round you'll be tuning into, or any players you'll be keen to keep an eye on this long weekend?
I think the match of the round will be GWS taking on Port Adelaide. It's going to be a big clash there. They're 4th and 5th on the ladder, just separated by a percentage. And, with Paddy Ryder out, which was a bit of a shame to see that, and Ryan Griffin out with injury. So it's going to be an exciting game that will determine their spot in the ladder, of very importance with that percentage. So looking forward to that game. And I think I'll be watching it with a heart full of pride. Of course, you can't go past Lindsay Thomas, who'll go out and run out for his 200th game for North Melbourne. So really looking forward to that game and just watching him and supporting him through what's been a magnificent career for him.
Well, it's time for a break here on The Point.